At my new place, there's a lot of stuff for me to charge. Everything from batteries to controllers to my freaking car. So, Anchor sponsored this video where I'm gonna be showing you guys all the really cool solutions we've come up with to charge all of my devices efficiently and safely. And we are off to a really, really good start here, as you can plainly see. Obviously, not everyone needs a solution to charge their high-powered electronic water guns, but as a parent, I can tell you, whether it's a water gun or some other electronic gizmo, it's a pretty crappy feeling to have your kids come to you and say, "Dad, can you play with me? Can we play with those?" And you go, "Oh, they're not charged. Can you wait 4 hours?" Well, right, it's not reasonable. So, the solution we've come up with here is Nick Callanan printed out these 3D printable holders for the Spyra water gun. I mean, shout out Thingiverse, by the way, because you can find frickin' anything on there. Okay, there's a slight flaw in the system. There we go. Then, this is where it gets genius. So the cable management for all of them is run right along the length of the gun, so you barely see them. And one of the things I noticed about these is that they always retain a little bit of water and it gets freaking nasty. So we installed this little water trough. Obviously it's not gonna run the water off outside the house or anything like that, but it gives it somewhere to just sit and evaporate where it's not going to stain the wall or cause a puddle on the floor that could be a slipping hazard. Pro tip, by the way, if you're using LTT cable ties or any other hook and loop style fastener on a braided cable like this one, you want to put the soft side in. That's actually why we have logos on both sides, because otherwise the hard side will just kind of pull it out and cause little fuzzies. And then the whole thing won't look nice like this does. The cherry on top for the water guns is less about charging and more about battery management. This little smart outlet will allow me to put a little battery powered switch right here that you can press to activate this entire circuit. So that way they're not just sitting at 100% charge, constantly being charged all the time, which could cause the batteries to swell and die. Coming around to the back of my media center, I think I did an okay job of the cable management. Okay, look, you can't see it from the front, all right? But it's pretty clear that we can do better. Step one is gonna be replacing my existing power bar with one from Anchor that has more plugs. And step two is actually gonna be salvaging back some of my plugs by replacing multiple power bricks with individual ones. This right here is from Anchor's GaN Prime lineup. It's a 65-watt charger that's super small thanks to its gallium nitride design, and it's got 2 USB-Cs and a USB-A, allowing me to charge my Switch as well as for my Harmony universal remote receiver. Now, obviously, when it's sitting behind my media console, I'm not gonna be moving it around, but one of the key benefits of these GaN chargers is that they're super portable. Compared to something like a 65-watt Apple brick, it's literally half the size. Anchor also offers their 737 GaN Prime charger, which will deliver up to 120 watts. And that is why I hate attaching power bars to things, because you either try and line up the screws on the little keyhole things and it never quite goes in right, or you hot glue it. This is actually with extra strong hot glue, and it eventually comes off anyway. Fortunately, I have a new solution. This particular one isn't from Anchor, this is from LTT Store, but I'm sure they won't mind me talking about it. This is what I'm gonna call the grand piece of our upcoming cable management lineup. Basically, it's a little universal doodad-a-majig that fits into any one of these keyholes. You tighten it on like this, and boom, magnetic mount. I mean, assuming there's metal here, we'll put a metal thing there. Yeah. The goal was to have it be so strong that you can plug and unplug things without it taking it off. But when you need to move it,
you can pull it off.
Magnets, baby, how do they work? The LTT Store power brick holder. Okay, wait for it. If you have a ton of power bricks and cable power bars and power bricks and stuff, this just changed the game. And probably the coolest thing about this is Jacob from engineering spent literally months, probably longer than I would have allocated to it, optimizing the magnetic field orientation, whatever, so that these things would have just wild, strong hold strength. Look at this. That's what it takes to pull it off. So once it's on there, it's on there.
A few moments later.
And we're done. There's obviously still a lot of cables back here, but we were able to consolidate everything that was plugged into the wall behind me, all 6 of these outlets, into this one power bar, and everything is strapped up to the back of our media console, including an extra LAN cable that's, super convenient to just grab down and run to wherever we need it in the future. And, oh, so much cleaner. Oop. There we go. Now, controller charging. Same thing as the guns. Kids want to play games, they don't want to worry about charging controllers. Adults too. Rather than settle on just a place to charge AA's and AAA's, I've created the ultimate charging station. These little wire shoe racks are available for next to nothing at places like IKEA or Home Depot or even on Amazon. And what's great about them is that they allow for adequate airflow for your chargers and your batteries while also reducing the risk of fire. One thing that I would like to improve about this setup is getting rid of this little bit of carpet here and actually screwing a metal plate to the wall right here, because while AA batteries are unlikely to catch fire, some of the types of batteries that I'm charging here could. Say, for example, the lithium-ion batteries for my tools, or these 18650 based Tesla batteries for the kids' Radio Flyer Tesla ride-ons. Those are not nearly, though, as dangerous as these. Any DIY batteries live inside separate metal enclosures because even under ideal conditions, these LiPo batteries can cause some wicked, wicked fires. Anker's contribution to this one, pretty straightforward. Another one of their very well spaced out power bars, and then LTT store contribution, little cable management clips anytime we need them. Just, yeah. Let's take another crack at this. Okay, good. I didn't want my car charger just, lying across the floor, because you never know, kids could run over it with their bike, or, you could accidentally roll a piece of equipment over it or whatever. So with a simple spring balancer and some aircraft cable, we were able to suspend the car charger up above me. I think there's still a bit of fine tuning to be done with respect to the lengths of the aircraft cable or whatever else, but boy, is that ever better than having it dangling along the floor, right? Sometimes, as is admittedly the case with these 9-bot go-karts, there's not a whole lot you can do to achieve perfect cable management nirvana. I mean, I guess we could build some kind of 2-layer stacker with all the bricks, power managed into it or something like that. At the very least, we have this, a 3D printed enclosure that allows me to take 2 power bricks and turn them into just 1, while also offering some protection from the bangs and scuffs and scrapes that are likely to, well, probably not do much to them. Okay, this wasn't really necessary, but whatever. The go-karts are here and they plug into the wall a little something like this. Okay, like that. For my nightstand, my before setup is actually pretty solid. I've got a total of 8 USB ports with these 2 right here. I've got this non-slip mat here that prevents anything from being accidentally tugged off the table. And then I've got this single wireless charger that'll do a phone, AirPods, and Apple Watch, if I had one of those. Thank you, Apple, for not making it the Qi standard. As well as having a USB-C here that I put my little Oura Ring charger on and I can pop on there. But that's not to say that we couldn't do better. These don't do fast charging, and I've got a fair bit of mess under the desk that I think could be improved. As for my wife Yvonne's setup, she just has the one of these quad port USB-A things. She honestly doesn't really charge much, just her phone and then her AirPods, which are not plugged in. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I didn't even notice this. This needs to be replaced. Yeah, I think Anker's probably got us covered there though. Now, technically the adhesive I used on these is temporary. It's actually the same as this stuff, but when it's clean, it's a little like micro suction cups. Boy, does it ever grab. There we go. And the adhesive that's on the other side of it is wild. This is the intended side. You can kind of stick it places if you want. Oh, that's better. We're all anchored up. We got their power port cube coming off the wall over here. This will do USB as well as AC power. that goes straight into one of their GAN chargers here. This puppy will do a total of 150 watts through a combination of 3 USB-Cs and 1 Type A. So 2 of these USB-Cs are going up to the top. We've got one of them here. This is probably going to be for phones and random devices. And then one of them is dedicated to this side, and that's for my Neo or Steam Deck or whatever flavor of the month handheld gaming console that I'm gonna be using. So that'll sit right about there. Obviously, we've got more USB ports up here. So 2 Type-Cs, 1 Micro B, and 1 Lightning connector. And those are all easily accessible, but here we go. We tuck it in a little something like that, without taking up space on top of the desk and without being an eyesore. Oh, so much better. Not much we can do about how messy Yvonne's nightstand is, other than just put it all in a pile and, hey, hope this is how you wanted it put away, hun. But hers is great because, there you go, you can easily see and access it if you need to plug in more cables, say if she wants, this Micro B or whatever else. And the one that she actually uses in bed is a Type-C that'll reach right over to around here. One of the coolest things about Anker chargers is their Power IQ4, which will automatically detect the devices that you have plugged in and then distribute their total power budget accordingly. So if I were to add another Type-C over here, say one for the Neo and one for my laptop, which I often charge my backpack right here, just a little something like this, it'll automatically distribute the power as needed. My problems here in my office are twofold. One is that I didn't have enough RGB before. As you can see, we got that sorted out. But number 2 is that my cabling situation is A, messy, and B, in some cases downright dangerous. This is the AC power cord that was running to my subwoofer. Step 1 is going to be to pull off my existing far too long XLR cable, although it was conveniently managed with this LTT magnetic cable holder, and replace it with this custom perfect length one from the one and only Dan, who built it for me. Thanks, Dan. That's why we call him Dan, the guy. And ka-donk. This one I can't get perfect no matter what. This fiber optic cable just can't be coiled up tightly or jammed in anywhere. You gotta be super, super careful with it. So I'm just gonna take one of these, and then accounting for that it needs to be height adjustable, I'm gonna leave a little bit of extra coilage there, and then I just need one of my little cable management arches. Boop. Also, I hid away my DisplayPort cable here. I'm using an HDMI TV right now, but I'm probably gonna switch to a DisplayPort monitor at some point. So I'll just leave my cable here and then it'll be ready to go for me when the time comes. If I was willing to settle for wireless headphones, this wouldn't be a problem, but I'm going to have to accept at least one hanging cable under the desk, and that's the one for my headphones. Let's just go ahead and put this magnetic arch here. These Anker USB hubs are super handy. They have a combination of data ports and fast charging ports. And while I wouldn't normally recommend strapping them in the way that I'm doing right now, because you'll probably give up at least one of your ports. Yeah, you can see that spacing. I give up one of my data ports. The benefit is that it hides under my desk and I never have to see it. Well, it might not be the cleanest setup in the world, but considering how much is going on with this setup, cameras, microphones, lights, other more different cameras, other more different microphones, there's just a lot to it. I am very happy with the result. Did we ever power it on? Okay, it's on now, so that's good. I went to show you guys one of the coolest features, which is that everything's magnetic, which means that even though I never use a standing desk, if some butthead were to come and standingify it, it would just rip the magnets off rather than actually breaking anything. Because this fiber is extremely fragile, I'm not gonna go out of my way to test this theory. Our magnets are also like crazy strong. But theoretically, it's a fail-safe that does exist. In the boys' room, we get to check out one of our coolest products yet. This is the 727 charging station. This is part of their GAN Prime lineup, and it's got a number of things on it. 2 Type A's, 2 Type C's. These are PD Type C's, so you could charge something like, oh shoot, where'd I put all the laptops? Ah, yes. Say, for example, a Chromebook for school, or other more different laptop for doing anything other than school. And, this is really neat, It's also got these super cool duplex receptacles. Look at this. It pops out when you plug it in, so that's how it can stay so slim. If you want a tighter form factor, they also have the 615 USB power strip in their GaN Prime lineup with 65 watts distributed between 2 fast charging USB-C ports, 2 AC outlets, and a USB-A port. This last one's really cool. This is their 733 power bank. It's part of their GaN Prime lineup, so it has the same Active Shield temperature monitoring that checks like 3 million times a day or something like that to make sure nothing's overheating. And this is gonna replace 2 things in my backpack, lttstore.com. My 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, which you can see it's actually not a dissimilar size to. That's gallium nitride for you. And I believe this is a 65 watt, no, this is a 100 watt charger. Ooh, damn, I thought it was, you know what? I'm switching back to the framework anyway. So it'll be the 65 watts that I need for my framework laptop. It actually replaces both of these pieces, plugged straight into the wall, and just uses a standard Type-C cable. Love that dual purpose, and that way I never have to think about charging up my power bank separately. It just charges whenever I plug in my laptop. Oh, and you know what else I don't have to think about? A segue to our sponsor, because the video was brought to you by Anchor. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye!